Hey everyone, welcome to this week's update on the 30-gallon mixed reef aquarium. And for this week we got a normal 11.5 month update on the tank. I've recently shifted a few corals about. I got some news with a possible upgrade with filtration, and I want to talk about the one of the fish that are in here having a major issue with one of them. So some of you may notice that the middle center of the tank looks slightly different. You see the frog spawn is kind of floating there on its own. No, it's glued a tiny bit onto the edge. But there was the hammer. Now there's a purple plate coral, which I'm hoping would swirl up nicely and create a nice purple structure in the middle. That should look quite nice eventually. And the hammer is right, if you look through that gap, is at the back there. There's a little branch, or if we look around this side, there's a branch coming off the back, and I thought what else am I going to put on it really? So I might as well put one of the corals on there that isn't my 100% favourite coral. You know, I mean, it's all right, but it's I'm not a fan of green corals. I know it's the main colour with corals, but I would prefer a purple plate coral there than the big hammer. So I put him at the back. Polyps are a bit shot in because I only did it a few hours ago. So he's already doing pretty well at the back there, getting a lot less flow, which it's going to enjoy actually, because they seem to open up and really expand their polyps when in lower flow. The pink Milipora, which is at the back, you see in the center of the screen. Let's zoom in. Right, there it is. Not totally clear, but there it is. It is pink Millie. That fell off. I had to re-glue it. It's already, you can see a tiny bit. If you look at the base of it, it's started to base out a tiny bit. And considering that's only a few weeks of growth, and it's an aquapora, and consider the state that the tank's in, it's not, you know, it's doing all right, but things aren't growing that fast. It's doing really, really well. So I'm glad that that's finally growing. This is my biggest SPS coral at the back. I don't actually know what it looks like because it's been browned out since day one, very annoyingly. It was on that tip, but it fell down. There's a second branch, so I've moved it down a little bit, so it's got a little bit more height and room to grow. And it doesn't seem to want to stay on that end anyway, so I didn't glue it. It's kind of just balanced there, but I think it's going to be all right. I mean, it's not balanced, but it's fairly wedged. I don't think it's going to move. I say that now, but there are two Mexican turbo snails in it somewhere. There's one on the floor here, upside down, which is getting what it deserves. Move him across. He can flip himself up, back up round, but sometimes it takes a while. I actually have no idea where the second one is. Somewhere, probably at the back, in this corner. We have a new home for the two. Well, there's four, but here's two of them. Peppermint Shrimps, if it's going to focus, there is. There's two Peppermint Shrimps here. They both hang out together constantly during the whole day, so it's good that I can see them just underneath this frag rack. They kind of just pick at stuff around this area, and as with all Peppermint Shrimps, they, well, even the other two which are in the corner there, I'll show you them in just a second, they all come out and they scavenge around the rock for aptasias, algae, copepods maybe. I can't really find one aptasia in the tank anymore. I haven't seen one in months. Well, since I did the new scape, it's been completely clean of them. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we don't get any. And the other two, I did mention this a few weeks back, but underneath this this filter box, you can actually see there's a little gap. It's about a centimeter gap where they can both. There's the other two kind of just squish underneath there together, and then they come out at night as well. Zoas are actually growing fairly well. Some are not 100% happy, a little bit closed up over here, but at the back here, which are one of my favourite ones, those orange ones, it's got 3 heads at the back there. That did have 1 head when I purchased it, and about in the past week I've noticed 2 new heads rise up, which is, I mean, they're tiny, really small, but they are growing, so that's a good sign. I was thinking about putting the Zoa rock in the center, but I'm not too sure because I quite like how this is very open and you can see the sand, and this GSP might grow quite a little bit onto the glass here. So I think I'm going to leave it there for now. I can do whatever I want in the future. To that fish that I was saying about isn't 100% happy, you may know from recent uploads, the peacock wrasse still acting weird. Where do you think it is? Yeah, it's in the sand. I know exactly where it is. It's right here, always in the same spot. You can't actually see it, but it's in the sand. He buries himself alive, and he kind of just stays in there for, you know, a few hours, and then he'll come out for like 10 minutes, you know, swim around the, I mean, not really swim, he kind of just hovers over the sand bed, does a quick lap around the tank, and then he comes back to this spot and goes back in the sand for a few hours. It's quite annoying because he is my favourite fish in here, and well, because of his colour, and he's really active. Well, he was until this new scape. He's been a bit funny, not really eating. I mean, he did eat once about 2 weeks ago, but I do see him pick up rocks sometimes. I guess that's what he comes up for. Wrasses do eat pods, so I guess he's eating pods, copepods that are scavenging around the rocks in some places. I guess he eats algae as well, but spectrum pellets that he has been feeding for the past, well, since it's been in this tank, which is about 6-8 months ish. Nothing. No, you know, I've had none of this funny behaviour from him before. It's just all of a sudden new scape, and he just doesn't like it. Hopefully he recovers. I'm mentioning this every week, see if he gets any better, but I don't really know. I can't really do anything. I just wait and see, you know, if he gets his stuff together. But fingers crossed he does start coming out and acting as normal as soon as possible. I did mention a possible filtration upgrade. This box filter is one of the issues with this tank. Nothing's really growing. Stuff is growing, but it's really, really slowly. I've stopped dosing now. Stuff is growing that little. Not even coralline's growing. There's no coralline in it. It's all gone. Well, there was loads more on this wave box, but it kind of just, not wave box, filter box, but it just disappeared. It just run off somewhere, God knows where. So the doser is not on. I'll show you. It's a 2-channel D&D, I think it is, down there. It's quite a mess down here, all sorts. Yeah, stop dosing that. That's been not dosing for months now, and haven't needed to because nothing's really growing. I think one of the issues is not enough turnover. There's a little bit, but I don't think it can be improved. So what I'm thinking of doing very soon is upgrading the filter, taking this whole box filter out. You know, it's siliconed in on the sides here, so I just cut through it, pull it out, and we put on a fluval external filter, which will do 3 times the amount of power and circulation, and about 3 times the amount of size as well. I've got more size, more power. I get more room in the tank as well. I think I might have this skimmer in that corner. If that's the route that I go for, which I'm thinking about, I'm still looking at all my options and seeing what's what. But let me know if you've had any experience with these fluval external filters. I have had an Eheim one. I've still got it, but it's I hate the Eheim ones. Don't buy them. They're really bad. Yeah, the fluval one is definitely the one to go for. I'm gonna make some room down there, put it down there. I think I'm gonna get the biggest version that you can get. Well, not the. It's the fluval 4. I think it's a 407. It does about 1,500 litres an hour. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna go down that route very soon, in the next month or two. I'll probably look into it. I think the wave pumps are both due a clean. You can see the outside shell or the cage is pretty dirty, but it gets dirty. It gets hair algae on it, but I don't know how. Nothing else, not even the wave, nothing. The rocks are clean, glass is clean. Just the wave pumps get hair algae on it. God knows, I have no idea why. It's quite annoying. So I'm going to clean them up, see if it reappears. Hopefully not. But they are due a clean, all inside in that. But I have seen the power reduce a little bit over the past few weeks, so that's a sign. They should really be cleaned every 2 months, I'm going to say. 3 at the absolute most, I think. And it's been about 3, maybe nearly 4, so I think it's overdue, really. So I'm going to clean those out before next video, so over the next few days I'll get a chance to do that. I'll also do the return pump as well whilst I'm at it, because it's been quite a few months since I last did that. If you closely look at the rocks, all these rocks are Marco rock, and they're very, very new into the tank, so you would expect loads of algae would cling onto them, and I've only got 2 Mexican turbo snails, which don't go everywhere. And you can see on the rocks, there's only a light, very, very light green film on everything, which is, you know, you're going to get that even in a really mature tank. And I'm really surprised there's nothing in there. There's barely any, a few bits of brown string here and there. That's about it, really. Oh, there's no cyano, that's all gone. I cleared that up with, what's it called? Cyano RX. That quickly mopped it up in just a few days. So you can see there's literally nothing on the rocks, and that's really, really good. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it stays like that. Don't want to get that any worse. So I got 2 snails in there. That should keep on top of things. If it gets any worse, which it shouldn't do, I can always start a dose of Vibrant, which I was doing for quite a few months, and that was keeping algae quite far away from my tank. To sum up, most things are doing pretty well. Growth is... Everything's growing, but it's really slowly, so we've just got to wait for the tank to mature. You know, I'm going to improve that filter probably very soon, so that should help the tank out a little bit. The fish are all fine apart from the peacock wrasse, but all the other ones are all good. Most corals are pretty happy. Just got to do a little bit of maintenance on these, on all the pumps. The Skimmer one, that'll be fine. I only did that about a month or 2 ago. I think I'll leave that a little bit longer. But 2 wave pumps in the return, I'll clean those out for next video. And yeah, I will see you in about a week's time. Bye.